You know, the thing about a journey is that it sometimes takes you right round to where you first started.
That's where I want to go. Back home.
What does that mean to you, Dorothy? Home?
I don't know.
Well then, there's your journey.
The Wizard of Oz was released more than 80 years ago, yet it remains one of the world's best-known brands, revered around the globe, an adored classic for all ages. But now, L. Frank Baum's World of Oz is ready to be reimagined. Using the treasures in his 33 Oz books, with never-before-seen characters in all new adventures and lands, the classic Wizard of Oz is a new global gaming franchise. Playing chicken with a tornado, Dorothy gets swept up by wind and rain and transported to the land of Oz. General Ginger, a warrior princess, leads an all-girl army. Polychrome is a wraith made of the rainbow. Tick-Tock, a machine of infinite knowledge. Sawhorse, the most loyal of companions. And the treacherous Scoodlers, the evil Fuddles, all here, in every land. Oz is riven with strife. Its world is at war with itself, and a warlord attacks from his network of underground caverns and caves. Called the Gnome King, he's enslaved the people of Oz, but for all his riches and power, he can't save himself from the disease that's slowly turning him to stone. While in the Emerald City, capital of Oz, a queen reigns with an unsteady hand. She's Ozma, queen of the land of Oz. Ozma faces challenges from the Gnome King and from rebel forces who've aligned against her. And deep inside the palace and the Politburo, dark politics and the magic of the mirror are at play. Like a sprawling adventure novel, a streaming series, Dorothy, Ozma, and the Red Thread has found its time. Our world is designed by the incomparable Legacy Effects and written by renowned creators and executive producers. But that's only half our story, because inside the Emerald City, Ozma's most trusted advisor schemes to overthrow her, and one day soon, crown himself the Wizard of Oz. Which brings us to the twist. Ozma, the queen, she's Dorothy. They're one and the same. You see, when Dorothy arrived at the gates to the Emerald City, the people convinced her to be their queen, and Dorothy took the name Ozma. And the story of Ozma we've been playing and following is set 16 years after Dorothy's story that we've also been playing. In this game, what happens to Dorothy on the way up to become queen affects what happens to Ozma on the way down, once she's been cast out by the wizard, forced to wander the wilderness, finding redemption. A journey as harrowing as Dorothy's was to become queen 16 years before. The game's inspiration hails from the scope, fantasy, and immersion of Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted, Red Dead Redemption, and The Witcher. It is stories and relationships like those in The Last of Us and God of War. A single-player RPG from a third-person perspective, players control Dorothy, Ozma, and many others, defeating enemies and solving problems while growing in power and forging complex relationships that play out over time. Narrative, and in a closed world, there are open-world parts, quick-time events, and dialogue decisions that affect our characters' outcomes everywhere and in every way, as Dorothy's decisions directly affect what happens to Ozma. Because in Oz, everything is connected, and for Dorothy and Ozma, all is one.
You know, the thing about a journey is that it sometimes takes you right round to where you first started.
That's where I want to go. Back home.
Well then, there's your journey.